Hi, welcome to the YouTube channel of No Limits. I'm Jamie and today we're going to be looking at how to choose a cricket bat for your junior. First thing we need to consider is the size, and in a moment a screen will come up and it lists out the size and the height that your child will need to be, so you may wish to pause it to take a note of that before moving on. Okay, so when we're choosing the size of our bat, we can't just be purely reliant on size. We have to think about the actual individual and treat each case individually. So each child will have a different strength and ability to control a different weight of bat. So we do need to be mindful of that and make sure that every child picks the bat up, checks they're comfortable with the weight and that they can control that weight through the full shot. It's very important that we get the size right, because if a child has a bat that's too big for them, there's every chance they'll develop a poor technique as they try to find shortcuts to manage the weight of the bat. It's much better to have a bat that's too small for you, because then they're going to develop all the correct technique and they're going to deliver the bat at the right time in the right place to make the correct shots. Okay, so one of the most popular questions I get asked when selling cricket bats is, why is one bat so much more expensive than another bat? In front of me here I've got two English willow cricket bats, one from Gray Nichols at 180 and one from Gunn & Moore at £80. Let's have a closer look at the willow and we'll be able to explain why the difference. You can see here on the Gray Nichols bat, the grain is beautifully straight, it's evenly spaced, it's free of any cosmetic blemish, so no knots, no butterflies, and if we turn the bat over we can see that the grain continues to go nice and straight through the bat, meaning this bat is going to be strong and play beautifully no matter where you strike the ball. If we flip onto the Gunn & Moore bat, you can see here the grain slightly more wavy, especially if we turn it over onto the back. We can see that the grain isn't so straight, and also you might notice that the bat itself has a much whiter look to it, and that's because this has actually been bleached, and that's to get some of the water staining that would have been in the wood out of it so that it looks a bit cleaner on the shelf. But it's also carrying a few little knots and blemishes in the willow, which will also hold it back from being able to be as good as the Gray Nichols bat. Okay, so the final point we need to consider is the ball that your son or daughter might be using. This one here particularly is a hard rubberized training ball that will be used by kids in school up to around years 4 and 5, and it's very much designed to give children the feel of a proper cricket ball and to get used to working with a ball with a seam, but it isn't the same as a proper cricket ball, and so therefore we don't necessarily need a bat that is designed specifically for a hard ball. So here we have a cashmere willow bat. This is a bat made from a willow grown in India specifically for the purpose of making cricket bats. It's ideal for bats that aren't designed for a real cricket ball, such as the Incredible we were talking about a moment ago, as the wood isn't as naturally springy as an English willow would be. So obviously when using a ball that isn't as hard as a proper cricket ball, we don't need that natural springiness so much. So these would be absolutely ideal for those children that still play with Incredible, and as a parent you'll be pleased to know they are also significantly cheaper than their English willow counterparts. As soon as they do move on to the proper cricket ball, like the one in my hand here, then we would strongly recommend you move over to the English willow bats, as you'll find that the bats are naturally far springier, so you get much more reward for your shots, and your son and daughter will build an innings far more successfully than they would do with one of the cashmere bats we were speaking about a moment ago. Okay, so once you've picked out the size that you need and you've chosen the grade of willow, the next thing to choose is which out of the wide selection of bats we've got here that your son or daughter wants to take home. And to do that we'll invite them into our skill zone here, and they can test out the bats for real, have a few throwdowns, and then they can be confident they're going to go away with a bat they're going to score their first century with. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed our video today on how to choose a junior cricket bat. If you have, please click the like button below and subscribe to our channel on YouTube for information and future videos on what we do here at No Limits.